Okay, I know we were hanging out in Dura Europa, and it's really cool, right? The whole hybridity of everything. But we're gonna go back to Rome, the city. I know. I'm comfortable in Rome. You're comfortable in Rome. We've been hanging out there for so long. We're going to go back to Rome because, well, the Jews will establish communities throughout the area, including the Roman Empire and the capital, Rome. We're going to be looking at not the communities and settlements of the Jews in Rome, but their burial sites, their catacombs, which are evidence of their existence and their communities. So let's go. Here we are. Our first artwork for Jewish catacombs is the Jewish catacomb in the Via Torlonia in the city of Rome. Now we're going to look at this in more detail, but I want to give us some definitions, some vocabulary terms and definitions. Catacomb. Look up there. Catacomb. Catacombs are underground passageways and chambers for burial, and during times of persecution, they can also be used as structures for worship. I'll get into that into more detail, but let me first tell you the next vocabulary term. A cubiculum. A cubiculum is a small room. When we speak of cubiculums in a catacomb, these are rooms that were used as mortuary chapels. Okay. Let's talk about these two terms. Now, a catacomb. A catacomb is an underground passageway with chambers for burial. It is not defined as anything specific to, or it is not defined to a specific religion or faith. Catacombs were in common use throughout the Roman Empire because it was illegal to be buried within city limits. Why? Because they know that dead bodies bring stinky diseases. And so if you were to be buried, then you needed to be buried outside the city walls. And so there would be large portions of land where these burials would be. And what we're looking at here are large areas of land where people of a specific community, the Jewish community, would be buried together. So a catacomb, these passageways and chambers for burying the dead, I don't want you to associate with any specific religion, but simply as a function, right? A catacomb serves as a function or a purpose, an architectural function of burial. The word cubiculum, it's Latin for cube space. Any room with four sides could be a cubiculum. But when we talk about cubiculums in the context of a catacomb, that cube room is a space that would have been used for worship or a memorial for the dead. And in times of persecution, for many, including the Jews and what we're going to later see in the Christian religion, these cubiculums would also be areas of refuge where they would literally go underground and hide during these massacres of their faith. So cubiculum, Latin meaning cube space, but in the context of a catacomb, a cubiculum is a room used as a mortuary chapel. Got it? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, now we're going to look at this specific catacomb and cubiculum. The name of this artwork is really just descriptive. The Jewish catacomb in the Via Torlonia. The Via Torlonia is, well, let's go back up to our map here, is located in the northeast of, outside of the ancient Roman city walls. See it right there? It gets the name Via Torlonia because the Torlonia family built a large mansion on this piece of land in the 1700s, and it was their family mansion all the way up through the 1900s. And I believe the last male heir of the Torlonia family died in like the 1930s, and it was in like 1919, 1920 that when they were doing renovations on the mansion, they accidentally discovered these ancient Jewish catacombs, which date back to have been in use between 300 to 500. So, or sorry, 200 to 400, the 3rd century through the 5th century, right? So it gets the name the Jewish catacombs at the Via Torlonia because, well, that's basically what they are. It has no specific connection between Torlonia family and the Jewish catacombs. Just that they built their house on top of what was unknown to them, ancient Jewish catacombs. So let's look at another view. Wait. So here we are standing in a cubiculum. So a cubed room. And then these negative spaces that you're looking at, those are excavations that dug out and revealed cavities in the wall. Those cavities are where the bodies would have been placed. So we can imagine those would have been plastered over and then painted and decorated with scenes of the Jewish faith. Here we are looking at one of the inscriptions in the catacomb, and you can see that it's written with Latin alphabet, and there's a menorah right there. There's another view. I kept the definitions up just to reiterate what we're looking at here. So we're standing in a cubiculum, and you can see that it's been plastered and painted. It should be recognizable, or you should see similarities between the rectilinear panels of painted figures, including those peacocks and these circular forms, to the paintings that we saw in Pompeii. We saw the styles of painting that have those rectilinear forms, those rectangles. There's also those magical creatures and griffins and stuff, and cupids that will be inside of those painted panels. Similar. Why? Because they're alive at the same time. This is no less Roman. It's just the subject matter is the Jewish faith. And here we see these painted rectilinear panels with these creatures. Here, specifically, they're peacocks. And then you see on this picture right here, the roof painted with a menorah, a symbol of their faith, a symbol, or a 7-branched candelabra, which is used as a symbol of the destroyed temples in Jerusalem. So seeing the menorah is a way of almost having this space a consecrated space, a temple-like space. And that makes sense because cubiculums were often used as mortuary chapels and places of safe space in times of persecution. Isn't this beautiful? Oh my goodness. So in this panel, what we're looking at should look familiar to what we saw in Dura Europa. There is the Ark of the Covenant, surrounded by the menorah, the Jewish sacred 7-branched candelabrum, and then we see boughs of vegetation, of greenery, and look at that elegant kind of design work. So similar to what we saw in the architecture of Pompeii, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, this 2-image or 2 artwork view of Jewish art is not fair, and it does not do justice to an entire faith, which still exists today, still makes art today. But for this class, we have to continue forward. We have to look at other art of other cultures, of other religions. It's important for me to emphasize that because I don't want you to feel like it is not of significance and that there is a larger dialogue. If you want to know more about Jewish art and architecture, obviously email me. There's lots of literature about this. There's lots of information. There's entire classes that you can take about it. but this is not that class, which I already warned you at the beginning of the semester. I said, this class, we hit the highlights, and we are introducing the Jewish art here so that we can then continue with our visual literacy throughout the ancient world. All right, let's continue now. Let's continue now.